Israel's social justice protests continue. On Saturday evening, an estimated 300,000 Israelis held demonstrations in Tel Aviv and West Jerusalem AlQuds to demand economic reforms and to express deep dissatisfaction with Netanyahu's handling of the economy.
Public education is becoming dwindled, and instead we are having more and more private institutions, and people that are in the middle class no longer can afford housing, and the medical institutions are lacking of resources and money, and people are just fed up.
The passage of the latest housing bill in the Knesset did little to ease concerns. Protesters said that the bill does not bind the contractors to build affordable houses and fear that homes for the rich will be built instead.
I'm a student here, and we all renting an apartment in a lot of money. So Netanyahu living here and in two different apartments, and we want to say him a simple request for him. We want him to reduce the money, reduce the taxes.
I hope that, for instance, this will put greater pressure on the peace process because of how much money is spent on defense, for instance.
It was said that Netanyahu and his aides were not taking the young protesters seriously, estimating that the protests has a limited horizon and that September is almost here, and with it the attention will shift to the newest round in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. But this is no longer the university students' protests.
The people in the streets are saying, we demand social justice. This is the message. Rearranging the political and economic priorities, changing the budget.
What you see here, and perhaps also inspired by the other Middle East uprisings, I think, Israel has learned something from the Arab countries, and it's not so bad.
The Arab Spring has indeed arrived, and while the protests are largely focusing on the social well-being of Israelis, calls for just peace are now being heard as well.
For the third Saturday in a row, Israelis took to the street to demand social justice and to protest Netanyahu's economic policy. Some protesters are openly saying now that they're a few steps away from a social revolution that will bring down the ruling coalition. Ibrahim Husseini, Press TV, Jerusalem AlQuds.